Good morning. We are making our way up to today's destination, which is a mine up in that cloud cover up there. But before we do, we want to show you part of the tramway cable here. You can see on the ground here, and this tramway ran all the way from the mine completely back down the valley to a tram terminal. This rock in front of me was the anchor point for this cable, and then right over here you can see right there, in case you don't recognize it, is a tram bucket. We're gonna start making our way up this slightly wet talus slope. We got quite a ways to go to get to the top. We might film along the way if there's anything worthy of filming. Otherwise, we'll see you as we go up or when we get to the top.
Ooh, that's a shifting rock, and it's big.
As I mentioned below, there was a tramway. There's some big chunks of ore scattered about from the mine. You can see these more ironized looking rocks down there. And here's a close-up view of the quartz and what some of those ore rocks were carrying. And then here next to it we have one that showing a lot of pyrite and whatnot in there. And here's another item to share with you on our way up, which is part of the aerial tramway. And you can see where it would have had the trolley wheels that would have rode the cable, and then the bucket would have hung off of this apparatus here. Cool to see that still here. And a couple other odds and ends over here. It's like some more quartz there. Kind of interesting there. It's got some, it's like pyrite or something going on in there. All right, well, I'm going to catch up to Forrest and Drew, who are just up above me here. As we're getting a little closer to the top here, we came across what would otherwise not seem like such an interesting artifact, but actually is pretty unique if you know the history behind it. And that is this tramway cable right here. This is a Bleichert aerial tramway cable, and it is a patented design, is a locked coil track cable. This design was so the friction and the wear would be even on all sides, so you can see how this is separated here, but it would have been nice and tight when it was in service over 100 years ago. I've never seen a tramway cable quite like this before. They're usually just your standard multi-wire cable, and this is definitely very different. So here you can see this special patented aerial tramway cable unique to this location, and then here's some of your run-of-the-mill, if you will, cable. So definitely you can see the difference there. So I thought I'd just show you that, since the standard cable we normally see was nearby. I'll see if I can get a good shot of the end to show you kind of what the cross-section looks like. If I can there, but there's the end view cross-section, what it looked like. And this tramway, when it was in service at the time, was the largest tramway in the world. So you only can imagine this thing spanning all the way back down yonder there, way over there. Pretty cool that this unique piece of history is still here. Next, is right up there. And you can see Drew is clearing some rocks off for some reason. They're coming sort of down towards me. Hopefully not. But anyway, the point of this was to show you the waste dump. So there is a shot of it. And we're just going right to basically where Drew is and slightly forward, and we essentially will be there. So we have reached the top and we're looking down the waste dump here. And here's the view of the valley, which is probably one of the best views of any of the mines out here. So we'll take a look at some of what we got going on up here. Looks like here we have an ore car chassis, and you can kind of see right there the remains of the body of the ore car. And make our way down here. So there was a structure up here, and the structure would have been in here. And there was a bunkhouse up here for this mine. You can kind of see some timbers over here. I believe that's probably part of what remains of it. Over here, looks like we have a part of a rock drill right here. Half of one, anyway. Let's see if there's anything else that's really easy to recognize. Looks like a shoe. Looks like it's probably more modern, I'm guessing. Hard to say, though. Well, maybe not. An old shoe. There's those timbers for the structure I was showing you. You see, there was looks like there's a fire up here at one point where this all burned. There's just various metally bits and things laying about up here. Got this kind of hook. You can see there's looks like a rail, mine rail under all this debris. That's another ore car chassis there. Just shot looking out back down the valley. It's pretty awesome. Grab my gear, make my way over to the portal here. So the primary commodities here were silver, gold, copper. One thing Drew pointed out to me as we were standing here talking is this rock here that overhangs the portal entrance, and you can see all the fractures in it and its condition. To which, after Drew showed this to me, my response was, why are you bringing this up now? I prefer you show this to me after we go in and come back out in one piece. But nevertheless, yeah, it's not a friendly looking rock. But anyhow, so there's the added entrance, and you can see this orange goo, otherwise known as acid mine drainage, that we're going to be navigating through today. So it's going to be messy, but we are prepared with some disposable waders. That way we can put them in trash bags and seal them up to haul them out of here, and then we don't have to worry about them when we get home, cleaning them and trying to get that stuff out of your waders for the next 2 months. Make our way over here and figure out how to get into this thing. It's like somebody forgot their shoe. So making our way in. Our first look in here, you can see there's some blockage in the tunnel here. Alright, looks like this is where it's going to get a little deeper in terms of the water and mud. We're going to have to figure out how to navigate through here. Oh yeah, okay. So I can describe this in a minute, but it's really difficult to kind of move through this mud as you pick your leg up, and then there's material on the bottom there that you run into every so often. And what we're dealing with here, I can kind of show it here. I mean, it's the consistency of like a pudding, I guess, would be the best way to describe it. We'll first look down the main tunnel here as we turn. And you can definitely see why this was an appealing place to mine with all of this quartz and mineralization and pyrite. And you can see just all kinds of stuff going on in there. This particular mine was one of the more profitable mines out here. Kind of feeling my way through this stuff here, and it's just the level of the mud and water changes in a moment's notice. So one minute you're up to your thighs, the next minute you're ankle deep, and then at any time you could drop back down again. So I'm just trying to kind of take it slow, so when it does change, I'm not falling into a hole. A little bit of ground fall in here. I'm trying to walk over this, but give you an idea, that's what we're dealing with in here. Hangs on you like paint. We've got a collapsed area here that looks a little, well, something I don't really want to try to film while I go over, so I'm going to turn the camera off here for a minute while we make it past this. Made it past this collapse, and you can see there's some stoping going on up in here. And going up a little ways there. And then here you can see this is what I was just looking at above. This is the beams and boards for that platform area where they were stoping just above us. The beams there. Over 130 years old, roughly. Yeah, I will say this is probably one of the hardest mines to navigate that I've been in a while. I mean, anytime you're in water and you're going through, I mean, you're going to run into rocks and timber and things. If you're the first one through, you generally can see it at least. But as you can see, there's no way to see what's below us here. All right, another little stoped area. Kind of going up in here. It's pretty cool. And the minerals in here and just the colors, it's insane. It's a lot. Sometimes you see this in pockets in mines, but generally you just don't see it continuously. Getting to the rail. So we're coming up on some interesting features here. What do we got going on here? So it looks like we got some ground fall, some timbers wedging back some of these rocks here. And probably some stoping, obviously, up in there. So I'm going to figure out how to navigate my way around this. It's very interesting how that rock is sitting there. So here's our first ore bins. And we appear to be pretty plugged up. Looks like the gates are down, but the materials plugged them up there, which is probably a good thing. But you can see those right there. We're continuing to take out the rail here. See how much all this material that's built up on either side of it. Here's some very impressive, it's like some copper staining here, some wash. It's like some calcite going on over here, kind of on the ceiling too. Yeah, next up we have another collapse, it looks like. Yeah, okay, I see now. So it looks like the stoking was going on. Oh boy. All of that wood collapsed and allowed all this material to come down. So that's just kind of hanging there. So, all right, well, I'm going to turn the camera off and assess this and figure out how I'm going to get around this. All right, making my way across that very scary collapse looking area, but looking up, you can see more of that stoping going on, and you can see a ladder right there in the center going up, and then some additional stalls up in there. I'm going to carefully make my way across here. I don't know if I'm going to keep filming the whole time. Maybe I can. Looks like I got to get back down into this goo. Just find a good route off this little collapse pile here. Okay, well, that's kind of cool if that's original. So if this is original, which I assume it would be, but that 85, that's been here, like I said, since probably the mid to late 1890s. Very impressive. And I got more of this pudding goo. I see this little upper area where they were working up above here, and this was kind of all to protect this tunnel from what they were doing above and the material. And some of this was bracing here to help shore up the tunnel. So this is an interesting little section here. I don't know if this is a spot where you have like a workshop or be able to do some kind of work off the rail area. Hard to say what the exact purpose of this area is. Looks like we have another ore chute here. This one looks pretty clear. So nothing in that one. So this area is really super cool and mineralized, and you can see these iron mineral stalactites coming down everywhere and then forming these what looks like stalagmites on the floor here. You can see the drip, drip, drip there. That's probably just building this up over all these years. And yeah, some kind of everywhere over here too, if you look at this. It's really cool. And again, this mine had a couple of other levels, so definitely as we work through these ore chutes, some of them connected to other levels. Looks like a 89 maybe. So obviously there's a number system to all these ore chutes, which should make sense from a efficiency and whatnot. So they understood what ore chutes were doing what and where. And wow, there's just a lot of ore chutes in this thing. Most ore chutes I've encountered. And you can see again, the timber's going up and supporting all of that up there. Here we have a ladder that would access those upper stoped areas. Timber's up in there. So here, let's see if there's any good samples in here. I'm just kind of looking through, seeing what's down there. So kind of this big area here that was opened up. I'm not sure exactly why they widened it so much here, but it's very interesting. Something's going on up here. And then over here, let's see if I can step the camera out here a little bit, give a better view. Looks like this was like a little break room or something. You got benches in there, some explosive crates. Looks like there's a glove right there. Very interesting. Maybe some cloth or something there on the ground. Entryway to the little break room, so it's all notched out area that's boarded up with a little opening there. And then up here, you can see the pipe fastened to the timbers here. So this air pipe. Alright, so I guess we'll go right first and look down here a little bit, see what we got. Let's see where the air pipe has come off the brackets. It's kind of hanging here. Figure out my way around this pipe. That mud just really throws you off. You can see there was like Like you step in there, it goes down a foot, and you step up there, and you're on solid ground. Yeah, you can see where this went way up there as well. Oh yeah, that went way up there. So I can see footprints all over here, and people do visit this mine. I'm not going to say super frequently, but you know, it's again not a huge secret. It is an old mine. It's one of the older mines around this area, so it definitely has its hazards for sure, being the age. So we're back to the intersection here. We came in, and here's where the break room was, right there. I'll show you in there again, see if I can see. You can see the benches. I just find this fascinating, so I'm going to look at it again. See if I can get better light, but you can see the benches on either side. All right, so we're just past that little break room and kind of have a little mess here. Some ground fall from maybe some of this stoping that was going on above. And looking up in there, you can see all that stoping up there. So somebody abandoned their waders or something at some point. Kind of a bad place to leave them. Whoa, okay. That one dropped down about 2 feet where it's just eroded out where the rail is. So I was looking at this a minute ago where people had walked down the side here. I was thinking to myself, I wonder why they did that. Well, I guess I just found out. It's just not, and you can just see these divots, and it's just another hole there. All right, so this is the first of several ore chutes here in a row. Here, looks like there's a board. It's like a little bit of this is given away, holding back some material, which caused all this to fall here. So I'm be careful going by this. Tell there's a bunch of probably glue over here. Theme of the day. There's the ore bin, and right below it is a wooden bucket. I'll try to show you that as I work my way around this crap. And looking back down at the ore chutes there. And there's the wooden bucket. So with all these minerals, iron, you name it, that's in here, and all of the leaching that's gone on. You can see here, or even the water has this almost blood red color to it, which is very strange. Sure, it happens in other mines I've been in, but it just doesn't pool like this. I never really get a chance to see it. That's not diluted by the other water in the mine. Alright, so we're coming back the other way, and there's Drew and Forrest in front of me. And just above here you can see there's a vein going up, which is really impressive. So these guys are headed back to where I just was. There's more of that vein. Are you following the foot tracks on the side?
Yeah. Doing the best.
We made it all the way through the majority of the mine. There's a small section we didn't go into only because it was very flooded, and according to one of our exploring partners today, there's not a whole lot back there to see. Let's take a look here. So again, our O2 sensor. It's hard to get the light just right, but we're at 20.9 and good. It's been good the whole time. Never a concern in this mine. There's tons of airflow in here. There's multiple levels, and it connects to other mines in the system here, so it's pretty well ventilated. Well, that about does it for this mine exploration adventure. We hope you enjoy this video, and we want to say thank you for coming along with us, and thank you for following us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And if you enjoy our videos or like what we do, please consider subscribing. And if you don't, that's okay. Just come back and check us out every now and again. And until our next adventure, take care.